I keep the fattest gear, highest caliber gats near. Bring the atmosphere when I subtract the whackness from the atmosphere. Plug the mic and watch words unfold from the brain. What I write excite thugs like hers with gold chains. I perceive life as one piece plot. When I leave spots, I receive props from those that once believed. And I create a buzz like Dow tones. Break beef down to cow bones. And watch competition's points plunge like the Dow Jones. Hand me a microphone, I peel melons. The raw niggas
Guys,
jailed.
what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be a sample shopping episode, and we are still going off fragrances that Adriana sent me at the end of November. So 4 more this week, we're going to do 4 more next week, and then we're going to get a whole batch of new fragrances. Now, of the 4 this week, only one is available at Decant Shop, but again, you know, because Adriana and I have such a love of fragrance, she sent these to me, and I do want to give you guys my opinion, but I also want to remind you to check decantshop.com. There's so much heat dropping there every day. So many new fragrances, a lot of new stuff from Raja Dove, Healy. It's just crazy. Montal by Killian, Amouage, Creed, Vintage Creed, New Creed. Please, decantshop.com. Use that coupon code MAX12. It's going to save you 12% off your entire order. So the first fragrance we'll take a look at today is actually a reformulation from Dior. And this we looked at, if you remember at the beginning of this last haul, we looked at Addict, the original version of Addict. This is the 2013 reformulation of Dior Addict. This is primarily a woman's fragrance, but what really made me want to smell this is how well it did on the Base Notes Top 500 list. I think this was number 13 or something on the list. Let me see if I have it in front of me. It was really high up. I don't think that I do have it right here. Number 30. Okay, no, top 30. So really high up on the list. It did really well, and it originally came out in 2002. The notes on this one were mandarin leaves, mulberry flowers at the top, night queen flower, Bulgarian rose, and orange flower in the heart, bourbon, vanilla, sandalwood, and tonka in the base. You can find this one online for about $80, and I think it's a really good scent. You know, I think it's mulberry flower probably isn't very berry-like, but there is a bit of a berry-like vibe to this one. Maybe that comes from the vanilla and the orange flower and the tonka bean. It's sweet, it's floral. As a dude, I probably would wear this, but I don't know that I love this one so much. You know, even what Dior's done for women, I think Poison is probably a better scent. I think Durissimo is probably a better scent. Those were both not in the, I think, Base Notes list because they came out prior to 2000. But this is a good scent, really good. If you've never checked Dior Addict out, you should. I don't know if I see a huge difference between the 2013 and the original formulation. I think probably the original has some more oomph to it. It smells like a little bit more natural. But they're both really good. I think they're probably better off for females than men. The next one we're going to talk about, this one here, you know, is not available on Decant Shop. This one is from a house that I have absolutely no experience with called Evody. And this one is called Fleur d'Orange, obviously orange flower. This is a French niche brand that has about 15 scents in their lineup. Fleur d'Orange came out in 2008. The parfumé was Algie Nicholas, who has done many of the fragrances for this house. And note-wise on this one, you're going to get bergamot, mandarin, orange at the top, jasmine, African orange flower, and neroli in the middle, musk and woods on the base. You can get this one for around $93 on strawberry.net. So if you're interested, it can be had for a good price. And this is your typical orange flower, orange blossom fragrance. Not bad, pretty natural, but if you smelled like anything orange blossom before, like, you know, I know Joe Malone has an orange blossom fragrance, that's what this is. And unfortunately for me, this doesn't have much else. You know, a fragrance that does orange blossom, I think, interestingly enough, is Etat Libre d'Orange Divine Enfant, which I don't love, but it combines orange blossom with coffee and I think marshmallow and tobacco, and it at least makes it more interesting. This is kind of just pure, to me, orange flower with some citrus. It's clean, it's fresh, it's very boring, it's not a beastly performer. For me, this would probably be a skip, but I would have to say there's definitely some quality to this house. So I don't want to dismiss it. I just want to say this one, for me, certainly isn't doing anything special. So next up, guys, we're going to finish with two from the house of Atelier Cologne. So first up, let's look at one called Pomelo Paradis. And this is a house we have spent some fair amount of time on sample shopping. Hasn't been a huge winner with me in terms of what I've smelled. I own two from this house, Vetiver Fatale and Cedrat Atlas. I really like both of those. I would like to purchase Amber Nuit. There are a few others I would like to check out, including their Orient collection, which I think is exclusive to Bergdorf. I saw it when I was there a few weeks back. I recently tried Bergamot Soleil, which is their newest Cologne Absolute. Okay, it wasn't bad. It was definitely very fresh and lively and natural smelling. This one, Pomelo Paradis, came out in 2015. I believe it is centered on the pomelo fruit, even though that's not a note in this one. Top notes on this one are pink grapefruit, Calabrian mandarin, and black currant at the top. In the middle, we're going to get orange blossom, Bulgarian rose, and mint, and in the base, amber, vetiver, and iris. This one starts at around $70 for that 30 ml, and you can go up to $180 for that 200 ml bottle. Now, unbelievably natural smelling, beautiful citrus. If you like the smell of pomelo, which to me smells basically the same as grapefruit, ooh, this is going to do it for you, man. This is just natural. To me, as natural as Pampaloon by Guerlain Aqua Allegoria, or Pamplemousse Rose by Hermes from the Eau de Cologne collection, but there's not much under it. Once that pomelo sort of really fades after an hour or so, you're just left with a sort of I mean, to me at least, the amber, the vetiver, and iris really never come out that much. It's just a nice, beautiful citrus blast with not much behind it, and to me that's the weak point of the Atelier line. I really find that if they're not doing something different than citrus, they just, whether it be Orange Sanguine or this one, they just kind of die out too fast. And as much as I might like them, I can't really justify that price point, because I think there's just other eau de colognes that will either last longer or will do the same for less money. But let's follow that up with the second Atelier Cologne we have for you guys, called and this is another, I think it's not brand new, but it's one of their more recent Cologne Absolutes. I'm sure you guys heard of this one. It's called Cedrat Enivrant, and this one came out in 2013. Again, pricing same as we discussed earlier. It's very standard with the Cologne Absolute line, but note-wise with this one, we get citron, lime, and bergamot at the top, mint, basil, and juniper berry in the middle, tonka bean, vetiver, and Emily in the base. Now this one, to me, is primarily a lime fragrance. This is almost the equivalent of Orange Sanguine, but if it was lime juice instead of orange juice. It's really nice, but I get this. It's the same problem I have with Pomelo Paradis. When this one dries down, there's just not much there. It's sort of about that fresh lime at the top, and then it sort of becomes blah. And as I just said, that's really my problem with this house. These are wonderful. It's sort of like, you take out a girl and she's just beautiful and you're like, oh my God, and she's sweet. And then you go out to dinner and you're about 40 minutes in and you're like, fuck, this girl's an idiot, or I have nothing in common with her. We can't talk about anything. We've been talking about our pets for an hour and we're not connecting on anything else. That's sort of how I feel about these. I'm hyped off the beginning and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then an hour and I'm like, oh, shit, I wish I didn't wear this one today. And that's not to shit on Atelier, because I think Atelier really does good work. I think their Amber Nuit is a great fragrance. I love Vetiver Fatale. I think their oud fragrances and are really interesting. The new oud one they did, I think Santal Karma. I'm sorry, not their oud fragrances. Their metal fragrances are really interesting, and I think they do make great fragrances. I love their ethos. I love their workshop, or their shop in Nolita. I just think that their citruses, for me, just there's not a lot of backbone behind that really fresh initial blast. If I'm ranking these, I would really put Dior Addict number 1, just because I think that's a stout, strong fragrance. And I believe Terry Wasser actually did that one. Let me see if I'm right about that. Yeah, Terry Wasser did do Dior Addict, so I'd put that as number 1. Number 2, I'd probably go Pomelo Paradis, just because I love grapefruit. I'd probably still go Cedrat number 3 and Fleur d'Orange number 4. I would not purchase any of these. Maybe Dior Addict one day. Who knows? I like collecting Dior, so you never know. Guys, we have one more week before we start our next batch from Decant Shop. We'll look at 4 fragrances. We'll start with one from the house of Check and Speak. You guys know I love that house, obviously, for Oxford and Cambridge, one of my favorite lavender scents of all time, maybe my favorite lavender scent of all time. We'll then go to the house of Byredo to look at a fragrance community favorite. We'll then go back to the house of Evody and see if another one of their fragrances is going to score a little bit higher with me. And then we'll finish out with an Italian house that I'm really trying to find out more about and smell as much as I can from them, called Mask Milano. They're just Mask. But guys, again, this is all possible because you guys go to the website decantshop.com. You use that coupon code MAX12, and we want to encourage you to keep doing that to get the best selection of curated fragrances, the best prices, and the best service available online. I'm not saying it for no reason. I'm saying it because I truly believe it. decantshop.com, coupon code MAX12. Guys, I will see you later this week with another review video.
I keep my murder paragraphs indented with my name imprinted. Your whole frame is vaginas in it. Every lyric I said I meant it, and ended with the shot.